Okay, so we're back on this part 3 of the Kenwood TS690S. This one's a 690, of course, with the 6 meters, but same chassis. And just to show you that sometimes, excuse me, problems are not really as severe as you think they are. This one, as you know, if you've been following the progress on this, no audio, no transmit, no receive, no nothing initially, but that was the sort of the thoughts when it was sent to me, and that's not entirely true. There were thoughts that it had about 10 watts transmit, to be fair, but there was a suspicion that there was no receive. The meter was swinging right over, as you saw. As you can see now, we've got a meter that is far more accurate, and when I put a signal into it, bang, you know, sort of we've got 50 microvolts. I can adjust that a little bit. It's a little bit high at the moment, but as you can see, so that's all that was wrong with it. Now let me show you what was wrong with it, because it was really simple. I'm going to put my tool right here. I'm going to show you something. See how I can adjust there? I can sit there and I can, etc. Now, watch what happens. I'll take the generator off and I adjust the same spot. And this is where it was. Receiver detuned. This is basically an internal RF gain which was set around here. Now I just need to reset that again now, but I'm only just doing rough settings for the moment, just to. But as you can see, I can sit there and play with that quite a bit, and you'll see the AGC sort of cutting in a bit there. But and I can set that level. I've got about, actually sorry, that's 5 microvolts in at the moment. So I'll set that up correctly in a minute. But as you can see, fault 1. Okay, so basically I turn the generator off now, and look at that. You know, we're back down to where we should be on our S meter. So, you know, very simple adjustment. So let's go to manual transmit. I'm into a dummy load, just by the way, just so you guys know. Actually, go into over here, and you'll notice, I'll just get ourselves set up. Actually, it was a bad angle here. Okay, sorry, returning to you. So what we'll do is we'll just show you. Now I haven't fine-tuned this just yet. Let's have a look at what we get. Don't want to. I'm on FM, so we've got full carrier. And what I'm going to do is have a look and transmit. All right, so we've got it up to 70 odd watts, 82. Have a look at this. I'm just adjusting here. Have a look at the range. This is the range of this adjustment here. Now, ideally you want to set it up to about 100 watts. I mean, you could go crazy on these Kenwoods and set them at, you know, sort of more. I'll probably go 105 just to be a little bit, you know, a bit of fun. But, oh, come down a bit. And as you can see, that'll do. 102 or something. I'll just come off transmit. Okay, so what they had was ALC, power output controls, completely out of whack. Now, that may need doing on sideband as well. There'll be adjustments, possibly. We'll see how that goes. Oh, look. Yep, so we'll have to find the sideband ALC, get that sorted out. But you're starting to see, you know, this radio essentially is a worker, which had one capacitor over here that we replaced, whoops, just over in here. And the rest has been... you know, at some stage somebody searching through and trying to find a fault by adjusting stuff, and I 100% really would suggest you don't do that. Even I'm not good enough to do that, I can tell you. Go to the, you know, the information, just follow it bit by bit, and I'll tell you what, you don't have to be a tech to do that. This is real simple stuff. You know, go to VR1, put in 50 microvolts, have a look at, you know, the adjustment on that for the receiver was really simple. By the way, it wasn't VR1, sorry, it was VR10. That was actually the one. Don't go adjusting VR1. VR10's your RF gain. Look, just to give you a quick run through, this is probably the better way to show you. I should really put some little notations. But, okay, VR10, this back corner, is virtually your RF gain to set your sensitivity. be aware VR1 is also tied in actually. Sorry, it is actually VR1 tied in as well. Be very wary. When you're setting the receiver, it is a balance of those two there when you're setting up your S9, etc, etc. VR14, 15, definitely one's ALC, one's RF output, but once again, there are really specific instructions which I'm about to go through and do correctly. I've only just got this thing going, but this is the point where we know it's going to work. Actually, I reckon if I put on the antenna, we'll hear something. Let's have a look. Well, just when you want someone to be on air somewhere, I've been checking around everywhere, and just been trying to see if anyone's actually transmitting somewhere. I'm on the antenna at the moment, and let's go, oh, I don't know, 7... now, I'm not on a great antenna for 40 metres, but no one on 40 at the moment. That's really quiet. Oh. Yeah, this being on a 10 metre antenna is not helping my case. $12K. Yeah, no real good signals at the moment. But we're going to go through and do the final sort of tune on this and just get things listening a bit better. But probably actually listening is fine. Let's see if we pick up a bit of noise around there. 1 meg position. Okay. Sometimes it's just easier to just punch in a... Sometimes you'll hear something come up on CB more often than not than you will on 40 metres lately. But no, dead quiet there, just no skip running. But anyway, as you can see, still got to look at this display. Have a look at how far I've got it up. If I have that sitting there normally, like, at that level, the display just is really hard to read. So, but, when I look at it at the right level, it looks pretty right. So I don't know, we'll have a bit of a play with that. There'll be, I think, in one of the menu functions, but probably what you're seeing on this video, you're thinking, well, what's wrong with that? It's working fine. But this will be the big test, won't it? Hang on, I've got to go on a dummy load for this. Okay, so we're back on dummy load. So my big question is, did the previous owner have this opened up for Mars 27 megs? Oh, we're about to find out. Oh yeah, 69 watts there. And probably with a bit of tweak that would be 100 watts, so yeah, okay. As you know, I'm not a real big fan of doing mods to radios, but anyway, sometimes they come in as they come in, so often if it's easy to mod them back, I will. Sometimes they're not. They're just, a lot of the surface mount bits, people sort of just make a mess getting them out. We'll have a quick look anyway. For all intents and purposes, this is what I'm going to call my $125 TS690S. Probably about an hour. To be fair, I'll spend another 20 minutes just fine-tuning all the transmit stage and receive stage, but really about an hour into it, and she's a goer to put out in the American barn. So I think the big thing to learn from this today is not to assume a fault. Is what it is. Sometimes you're going to need to just have a look at maybe where someone else has been. But that's the thing is, yeah. And I'll just leave you with, if I put a bit of generate on 7.1 again. See, isn't it nice when a plan comes together? Actually, I'm transmitting that if I'm on FM at the moment, so actually we'll calibrate that signal there. What have we got? Oh, 5 microvolts actually. You know what? That's probably not too far off. We'll calibrate that. Anyway, my $125 TS690S going out to the American barn to be the next radio that goes on the top shelf, where we sort of do a bit of work out there, and just gives me something to listen and play with and talk back to you guys with. People keep buying the radio that sits on that top shelf, and someone just did. They bought a 767 up there, and someone walked in and said, "Hey, I want that." And I said, "Oh, hang on, but that's my shack radio." So I needed a new shack radio. So $125 for a shack radio. We'll get it going, and what have we got there? Yeah, we'll just fine tune some of that power. We'll get that all to 100 watts, no worries. I know exactly what's going on now. All right, 73s to you. Hopefully this has been a video to show you, you know, buy faulty $100 radios and have a play, because sometimes, you know, you can get one that really wasn't all that hard, takes an hour of your time, and you've got something that, you know, look, I don't think they're worth a huge amount of money, don't get me wrong, but certainly I think, you know, you've got something that's functional, and look, it's a 690. They're not something you see every day. Certainly worth keeping for sure. All the best to you. 73s from VK3 Charlie Mike, Jack Daniels Whiskey 229 on the other band. And please subscribe and keep up with what we're doing. And thanks for all your comments. Really appreciating some of the feedback. Actually, the feedback today is what made me go further and show a little bit more about this 690, because it was someone that said it can't be that capacitor. It just can't just be that one capacitor. And I thought, well, look, you know, there was a time I would have believed that too, but it was one capacitor. Under $1 to fix a radio for $125 buy-in price. Not bad. So, you know, so it's one that we can certainly use, that's for sure, and out in the shed for sure. All the best. 73s. Cheers.